Welcome to round one of the Formula Golf 1000 Championship for the 2013-14 season. We have 7 rounds of racing this season. Today we're at the Dubai Autodrome on the 2.46 kilometre long club circuit, on board with young Natasha Sita in qualifying. So we were supposed to be on the international circuit today, but due to the very inclement weather, and you can see the track is still quite greasy as Sita battles for keeping that car under control. And the organisers decided to reduce it to their club circuit. We have 2 races today, one 18-lap race and one 12-lap race, as Sita heads towards the club link in the FG 1000. 1000cc Suzuki GSXR 6-speed sequential gearbox. You can see her right hand come off the steering wheel and move up and down the sequential box. Cars weigh 410 kilos, 150 brake horsepower, and there's weight equalisation for the drivers, so it's all about driver skill. As she heads down to turn 16, and she just nurses that car around there on her qualifying lap, and she does a 102.486, puts her on pole position for race number 1. Saad Bin Took in second, Abdullah Kabani in third, Abdullah Al Khariji in fourth, Adnan Barami in fifth. Tom Bale and Amir Hassan not here this weekend, both off competing in karting championships. Tom Bale in Bahrain in the WSK World Championships, and Amir Hassan competing in the Rotax Max Championship in the UAE. And we're on board with Kabani now as they head off on race number 1, 18 laps the race distance. You can see the sun has come out, the track has dried up, but the grip levels are still very challenging. As we head down into turn 1, Saad Bin Took is just in front of Kabani, with Sita in front of him as they once again struggle for grips on the Dunlop Control tyres. Back on board with third place Kabani as they head into turns 17 and 18. This is the infield section of the circuit. And they head on now to the shortened back straight into this very tricky club length uphill. Tyres are quite cold. It was a very cool day. We're into turn 14 now. In the bulb section, it heads uphill to turn 15. The right-hander. 8 corners, 6 right-handers, 2 left-handers. Down towards turn 16 now. So Kabani, vice champion in the 2012 Saudi Arabian Formula BMW Championship, as he pulls up behind Saad Bin Took, who was second last year in the FG 1000 Championship. And he's running there a little bit hot. Has to wait to turn in, and Saad Bin Took says thank you very much, and gets second place back. But Natasha Sita is heading off into the distance. Al Khariji, one of our new drivers from Saudi Arabia, 2011, 2012, 2013 Saudi car champion. Back on board with young Malaysian driver Natasha Sita, vice champion in the Malaysian Super Series this year. We're running in the GT Open class in the 450 horsepower SR8 Radical, also a top 10 in the Porsche Cup Asia in the Chinese Grand Prix. And Kabani, unfortunately, technical issues with his car, into the pits, and that promotes Abdullah El Khariji up into third place. Adnan Barami, great drive, first drive for Adnan Barami, a rookie, getting out of the way of the leaders, but every lap that he did in this race was a green lap. That means he was going faster and faster. He ended up 2.5 seconds quicker than his qualifying time. Unfortunate retirement for Kabani there, but the Golf Sport team will work on his car and get him back out. Natasha Sita having a huge moment into turn 16. Big drift off around there as she heads across the start-finish line and takes the win in race number 1 for the 2013-2014 season. Sita takes the win from Bin Took in second, El Khariji third, Barami in fourth. Unfortunate DNF for Kabani. and Bale and Hassan off karting commitments this weekend. Hassan, as I said before, racing in the RMC Championship to get into the World Championships next season, racing in the Rotax Max Seniors. Race number 2 just about to get underway, and we're back under cloudy skies. The track conditions, the track temperature has dropped 10 degrees. Back on board with Kabani, who had to start from the rear of the field due to that DNF in race 1, and all of the drivers will find this race very challenging. Garigi up the inside of Bintuk into turn 1. Sita already out in the lead, and you can see them really struggling with the cold tyres. The track temperature is so much cooler. These tyres need to run at around about 80 degrees centigrade to get maximum grip. And so Bintuk having a move up the inside there of Garigi. Garigi getting all sorts of sideways. On board with Kabani now, as we're too wide coming into the club link, where it's usually only room for one car. Barney moving his way up through the field. Barney heading through there, and a spin there for Garigi. Just showing these circuit conditions really difficult for the guys. They just couldn't get enough tyre temperature. Even Natasha Sita was struggling with grip. She heads off, we're on the lap about 4 at the moment. She heads off down the long start finish straight at Dubai Autodrome. 2.46 kilometres long, this club circuit. And you can see her battling under brakes and really on the razor's edge. Going around turn number 1, they turn 180 degrees and head back towards the race and drive school. Heading down towards turn 17 now, locks it inside front up. And the tyres spinning up at the rear end. Down through the gearbox into the club length. And really struggling with grip. Just showing her skill that she learnt in the previous season in the FG1000s. And El Garigi, and that's the starter motor Dawn, and that car is parked in a very dangerous position right on the exit of turn 18 onto the back straight, and we can see the orange flashing lights coming on the start finish gantry. We're under code 60 conditions, which means all the cars have to slow down to around 60 kilometres an hour to allow the safety crews to get back on. As Bintuk comes right up on the back of Natasha Sita. To use those performance friction brakes to get stopped there. No overtaking in code 60. And what this is doing is allowing the tyres to cool down. They were struggling to get them up to temperature in the first part of the race, and they're going to have to go through all of that again to get these tyres back up to temperature. Gulf 4 looking after the technical side of the racing, providing all of the performance fluids for the FG1000s this season. Come on board as the technical partner, as El Garigi sits in the vehicle and reluctantly gets out. The starter motor has gone backwards in the and they're not supposed to do that. And they strip the teeth off the starter motor, and he is out of the race. Coming back towards the restart now, when the lights go green on the gantry, we will be racing. And it's Bintuk behind Natasha Sita. Lights are green, and so Bintuk really gets the jump on Sita there. Sita was still turning, but Bintuk took an early exit and went on board with Sita now as they head down the start finish straight. She's got her foot to the floor. So her right hand comes off the wheel to go up through the sequential gearbox. Pull the gear lever back to go up through the box, and we'll see her up the inside of Saya Bintuk. And now she's balancing that car. The tyres are still cold, the brakes are still cold. That was a really good move back on board with Saya Bintuk as they head through the exit of turn 1 down towards the entry to turn 17. Oh, and another back end stepping out on the car. It struggles for grip down towards the club length. So Bintuk using all of the curbs. Sita going past the back marker there, which is Adnan Barami. So Bentook coming around turn 15, heading down towards the start-finish straight. With about a lap to go. As we exit that corner now, we're on the final lap on board with car number 73, Natasha Sita, young Malaysian driver. And she makes it 2 from 2 on the day. Very happy under lights finish at the Dubai Autodrome. And congratulations to Natasha for 2 great races, and the second one under very difficult conditions. Abdullah Kabani comes through and takes his first podium here at Dubai. And it was Natasha Sita. So Bentook, 2 starts, 2 seconds. Abdullah Kabani in 3rd. Adnan Barami in 4th. An unfortunate non-finish for Abdullah Al Khariji. But great racing for the FG 1000s. Thanks very much to our technical partners, Gulf Oil. We'll see you next time when we go racing in the Formula Golf 1000 series.